So I bought a custom liquid-cooled Xbox One S from eBay, got it here in this box, and in this video we'll open it up, take a look at it, and check it out. So not only is it liquid-cooled, it's got a window cut out into the console with RGB lights, so it looks pretty cool from the listing photos. I paid 230 bucks for it, which honestly I don't think is too crazy considering just a regular Xbox One S goes for about that much. And I'm pretty excited to see what's in here because I think liquid cooling for the Xbox One S is way overkill, but I think that's the whole point. Alright, so here we go. Let's open this bad boy up. We are in a subwoofer box, so it looks like I'm about to open up a subwoofer. So we have a note in here from the eBay seller. It's always kind of cool to get a handwritten note. It says, "Thank you. Controller must be paired via USB. Xbox will turn on via paired controller or a controller connected via USB. Please go leave good feedback. I will if it works." Yeah, so he did say that in the listing is that you have to pair the controller via USB for whatever reason. I mean, I guess that has to do with how it was built. And here it is, right into it. Interesting packaging, but I guess you got to get creative when you're trying to wrap this up. And as you can see, there's a fan here. I did a little bit of research on it. He said it's a Corsair, I forgot the exact model number, but it's a Corsair all-in-one solution for liquid cooling, and so I don't need to like put water or liquid in it, at least I don't think so. And then we got this should be the controller for the RGBs. We got something here, so we got all our cords, cool, and we got a controller in here, and looks like a regular Xbox One S controller. Pretty good condition, definitely feels used a bit. And we have a charger in the back. Hopefully, I'm hoping he included the charger because otherwise I don't have a way to charge those batteries. Alright, actually there's two controllers in here. I did not know there were two. This one is, what the heck? This one has pretty much no grips. What is going on here? So this one basically looks like the grips were completely ripped off. I've never seen that before. I'm not sure why this is included. I don't remember seeing that in the photos, but at least this one doesn't have a rechargeable battery pack on it. So just a quick comparison so you know what I'm talking about. So this controller, as you can see, has actual grips on the thumbstick. This one has nothing. And yeah, not sure what happened there. Alright, so let's take this out a bit more. Got some cardboard. It's pretty messy in here. Hopefully I can get it out without destroying anything. He did include the charger, so that's good, so I can actually charge the controller. Good to see. So I'll be honest, I really dislike styrofoam. It just kind of breaks apart and gets all over the floor and all over your stuff and sticks to you. It is really good for packaging though. And I do see this corner is kind of jammed out into the package. Hopefully that didn't damage anything. But let's try to see if we can pull this thing out. Now before we go any further, I just want to mention that if you have a custom console you're looking to sell, definitely send me a message. There's a very high chance that I'll buy it. I love taking a look at these unique consoles, and I mean, as you can see, you got your window over here. It is jagged, pretty jagged. I don't know why everybody that makes these custom consoles gets these things jagged. I mean, I guess from a consumer standpoint, it's not super easy to make a clean cut when you're using like a Dremel or something. Now, I haven't used a Dremel in like a decade, so there might be some techniques to get a straight line, but clearly all the ones I've bought don't have very straight lines, which is, it is what it is. It's not professional. We got some screws here, which I guess hold the plexiglass in place. So like I mentioned earlier, it's an all-in-one solution from Corsair. So you got your fan on top, you got your radiator down below where it dissipates the heat. So it dissipates the heat, blows it out, and then you got your two lines that go into the cold plate that attaches to your CPU/GPU. And I'll be honest, I'm no expert on water cooling or liquid cooling, but I'll give you a rundown of what happens from how I understand it. So basically you got water running through here that gets pumped to the cold plate. It takes the heat there, pumps it back up to here to the radiator, dissipates the heat, blows it out, and it's supposedly more efficient than air. So let's just take a closer look at this thing. So we saw the top. You can see this is the window right here, kind of jagged. It is what it is. Now here on the front, got to be careful because there's a wire coming out the back, but clearly it's the disc version. He said you can't use the, I guess now I see why you can't use these buttons. You can't press them down because I guess this part is in the way. So you have to turn the console on via the controller, and you also have to pair the controller via the USB port, which it's whatever. He said that in the listing. And as you can see, here's the two lines where they go in. Not the cleanest cut, but I guess if it works, it works. You got your, I guess probably your power right here that you gotta then plug into here, and then I guess this goes into the back of your console and gets its 5 volts. And then if we swing around to the back, you've got another plug here, which I guess is for the RGB lights, I would assume. And then everything else here looks pretty normal. You got your power plug, which looks a bit dirty. Everything else looks good. I'm not sure why there's a piece missing right here. That's interesting. And then down on the bottom, one thing I already noticed is that it's missing a rubber foot on one side, which is, that always, like, that's one of the most annoying things to me, is a missing rubber foot, because that means your console will wobble back and forth. And then this side looks pretty good. Actually, one thing I'm noticing is that it's off kilter a little bit, so like you can see that part there is not even with that side. So that's just one thing to note. But yeah, this thing definitely looks very interesting. Let's go ahead and plug it in and make sure it works. So I'm doing this trade-in service on my website now. Basically, you send in a list of what you have to jacobr@jrobgaming.com, and I'll give you a price. I'm buying almost anything gaming related right now, as long as it's working. And my main goal is to beef up the inventory on my site. You know, there's not too many options nowadays for buying used games and consoles. You know, whether you're looking at retro like the N64 or newer like the PS4 or PS5. GameStop doesn't sell retro stuff anymore, and eBay is always a gamble. So I'm trying to grow my shop into a place where you can get high quality retro and newer gaming stuff and not have to worry about getting scammed on eBay. Now, of course, if you want to list everything separately on eBay, you're going to make more money, but it also takes a lot of time and effort to do that. And I've run the numbers on a bunch of different collections that people have sent me. And honestly, after shipping and fees on eBay, you really don't make much more than I'll pay you anyways. It's only like 10% more. So I got everything plugged in. You know, all those cords you saw flying around are now plugged into the USB on the back. Got this controller. Let's go ahead and see if it turns it on. Actually, I got to plug in the back first. So I have everything plugged in now except for the power. So let's go ahead and plug the power in on the back. All right, so I got power plugged in and immediately everything lit up. So we got our green over here. We got some white on the fan here, and I kind of just want to do this. I don't know about you guys, but I always like to stick my fingers and hands in the ceiling fan. Not all the way in them, but, you know, kind of slow it down. Kind of besides the point here. But let's go ahead and try to turn this thing on and see if it actually boots up. Hopefully it does. So far we have life. Clearly there's RGB here. I got my little remote here. Let's see if this works. I guess I gotta find where the IR sensor is. There it is. All right. So we got white. I mean, you got pretty much every setting you want. I'm not sure where the sensor is. I guess I gotta get right here. Of course, we got a fade mode. We got a smooth mode. That is not smooth at all. That's just like Seizureville right there. We got flash. Man, it's even worse. You can change the brightness up and down. And the LEDs, honestly, from this angle, don't look great. Kind of looks like they're just strung in there. And we'll do a teardown of this Xbox at the end of the video. At least I think I will, if I can figure out how to get it apart. It doesn't look too hard, just some screws and stuff. But let's go ahead and see if it turned on. Well, I guess it would help if I synced the controller to the console first. So the console did finally turn on. I'm not sure what was going on, but I tried booting up via both controllers. Basically, you got to boot up via the controller since the power button doesn't work. So, you know, you're supposed to plug it in via USB. And I tried both of them, USB, tried pressing all the buttons and holding down buttons and stuff. Nothing would work. Eventually, I unplugged everything, plugged it back in, and then plugged the controller back into the USB, and it eventually just booted up. So here we are. The guy left his stuff on the Xbox for some reason. So we actually got some games on here: Apex Legends, Astroneer, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, a few Call of Duty games, Halo Infinite. So kind of got a lot of stuff here. So we'll just briefly try out a game and make sure it works. So we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the Xbox One. Alright, so the disc tray does work. I'm not actually sure if this, the disc eject button actually doesn't work, so you have to use it to do it via the controller. Well, let's just make sure it loads up. Cool, so it is loading up. I'm not sure what language that is. I'm not sure why it doesn't say Origins there. I honestly have not played this game in forever, so I'm not sure if that's a normal thing or not. So there's two other things I want to do in this video. First of all, I'm just going to show you some short clips of this console in action, just like a better angle so you can see the lights and the fan going. And then I'll do a teardown and we'll see what's going on inside this console. So next we'll take this thing apart. I think the first thing we need to do is take the screws off the fan. So we got 4 screws there, and we'll pop the bottom of the Xbox off, and hopefully it comes apart without too much hassle. So I got the 4 screws off, and when you pop it off, you can see the radiator down here, which is actually a bit dusty, so I just need to clean that up a bit. And I'm not sure how this piece comes off, or maybe it doesn't come off at all. Maybe I should have left the fan in place. Let me go ahead and put the fan back actually, and then I'll just try to pop off the bottom of the Xbox. So this part will be a bit tricky because I don't want to squish the pipes over here. So let me go ahead and try to do this. So I finally got the bottom piece off. It was pretty stubborn. Had to, you know, pry up all the little clips around the edge, and here we go. So the X clamp screws are gone. I guess I got to take the X clamp off to put this new liquid cooler on there. Let's go ahead and take off, I believe, the screws around the outside, and the whole bottom should pop off. and then we'll get a better look at what's going on in here. So I got the bottom screws off, and it gotta be kind of tedious taking this thing off, so I guess I'll just let you guys watch as I attempt to do this, and we'll see if I can do it. So the problem right now is that I'm kind of strapped on both sides. I got these RGB lights that are strapped to the top of the case and also to the back. And then over here I got the fan and radiator attached to the top while the pipes go to the bottom. So I'm trying to figure out how to nicely get this off because I'm not sure quite what's going on here. So the interesting thing is that these RGB lights are not actually strapped to anything. They're kind of just tucked away. They were tucked away at the back, and then these lights actually come detached from the back. So there we go, finally got everything apart. But basically here's the cold plate from Corsair that attaches to the CPU and GPU, and water cools it or liquid cools it. I'm not sure if it's actually water in there, but it's strapped down with these standoffs and whatever you want to call this assembly. And you got your pipes that go out to the top with the radiator and the fan. And then right here is, this plugs into the LEDs. The other side of the LEDs is right here, and it kind of just wraps around the outside of the top. It's not actually glued in, I don't think. And it's not even like, there's no sticker or anything. I think it actually might have been stuck to there, but the stickiness came loose, so it might be good to get some hot glue in here and hot glue it to that if I'm actually gonna leave it in here. And then over here on the plexiglass, you got hot glue that holds it in place, and then you got a screw and a nut around there that basically holds it in place between the outside of the case and the nut. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see what people do here. It's definitely creative. I'm not going to say it's something that anybody should actually do, because I don't really know the usefulness of having your Xbox One liquid cooled, especially on a console that's not really known for overheating, at least not to my knowledge. Maybe if you did it on the 360, it'd be kind of cool. Actually, I think this guy had a 360 for sale that was liquid cooled, but I lost the bid. But overall, it's definitely an interesting console. Like I've said in the past, I love buying these random weird consoles that are modified by people and just taking a look at them. They're never perfect. It's usually not done by a professional company. It's just done by somebody that's trying to create their own mods. So I think it's kind of endearing and unique in that aspect. So if you have a custom console that you're looking to sell, definitely hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, down in the comments, anything. There's a pretty high chance that I'll buy it, to be honest, and do a video on it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day.